Hey, good morning. Welcome to our regular Friday morning marketing coffee break. This is Vicki Wu, your marketing guru. Now, one funny thing, don't tell anybody. This actually isn't coffee, it's water. I tend to drink water throughout the day. When I do drink coffee, it's usually decaf, but I've already had that cup this morning. So I am hydrating. Today, we're going to be talking about part 3 of optimizing LinkedIn for marketing your brand. You'll remember we've already talked about setting up your profile, and last week we went into really fleshing out your about or summary section. And this week we're going to be talking about some actual strategies you can begin to implement. A quick reminder why we're visiting LinkedIn for marketing your brand. First of all, LinkedIn has the best results for business-to-business marketing out of all of the social media platforms. Not surprising. LinkedIn tends to have active members that are among the more affluent out of all the social media platforms. And if you're targeting executives in your social media marketing, 76% of executives note that they check LinkedIn daily. So you've got a captive audience there. And as we discussed last week, you want to be sure you've added some strategic content to your About section. And on most desktops, we talked about where you can add those links or upload things like case studies or add video right there in your About section. Most desktops will let you have about 6 of those. So use those strategically, although remember that less is more. So you want to choose some of your best links and content and make sure you're using that section well. If you haven't done it yet, and we didn't talk about it yet, claim your custom URL. You do this by clicking to edit your public profile and URL. That's one of the settings when you're clicking the edit icon right there under your cover photo. And if you scroll down a bit, clicking on edit your public profile and URL. That'll be one of the options. And then edit your custom URL will be on the right. Ideally, you don't want the generic, random numbers and letter combination that LinkedIn has given you. Make it ideally your name or something related to your business so that you can have a bit more of a personal and professional and branded outlook on YouTube. Another thing that is a really interesting trick, on your contact info, when you go in and edit that, you can customize your website links so that they're more like a call to action. You don't want to just have the selection that LinkedIn gives you, which would be, email, website, portfolio. There's a few options you can do. If you go in and choose other for the website link type, it will give you a little box where you can enter your own tag there. So when a viewer clicks on your contact info, what they're going to see instead of just, my website with website listed next to it, now it shows things like I have a link to my blog, and instead of saying website, it says top marketing tips. And I have a link to my podcast, and it says podcast for marketing department, something like that. So choosing that other category on the website link type will allow you to customize that text just a bit and, make it more of a call to action, make it more of a reason for someone to click. And that's a really great tip. So go in and do that if you haven't done it. Also, the accomplishment section of your profile offers a lot of ability for you to showcase some of your work. And it's really a section that I haven't fully fleshed out myself yet. You can add publications, projects, awards, and a ton of other stuff. Remember to only select those that make the best sense for your business. You don't want to put every accomplishment, say, that you had back in college, unless you're recently out of college, but showcase some of the very, very best items And that's one of the pieces that I'm going to go through this week on my own and kind of flesh out a little bit more. Remember, LinkedIn is still, even though it's very business oriented, it is still social media. And so you want to be more social than salesy. So you don't want to do any hard selling, like, used car dealers always get a bad rap. I've had great results with the ones I've used, but they get a bad rap because of that, traditional stereotypical hard sales pitches that they do. You don't want to be that person. Start first by building connections, and from those connections, build relationships. Just like best practice, anytime you're trying to sell, that's what you want to do first, is connect with people and then work on building a relationship that's mutually beneficial. Be beneficial to them, and then they will later be beneficial to you. Now I want to talk about posting on LinkedIn. You want to have a strategy, and I have a whole strategy document and training that we can go over. You can access it. I will link it in the comments. Let me note that. Link in comments. But if you don't have a strategy, posting good content is still better than not posting anything at all, even if you're not very strategic about when you're posting what different type of content, as long as it's good. You can request our best times to post ebook that has some of the latest information. Wasn't dreamt up by me. I pulled the best practices from some other leaders in the field and pulled it into one ebook. Just go to the website, vickywu.us, VICKYWU.us, and click on the resources item in the menu, and there'll be a drop down where you can find our best times to post ebook. Request that, and you can get some advice about LinkedIn specifically in there. A lot of people recommend that you do daily status updates plus weekly articles, and then intersperse in between those two some real case studies and results, plus make offers, either inviting people to a webinar that you're hosting or to download a white paper. Teach them how to solve their problems and how to do their jobs better. One of the favorite pieces that I use on LinkedIn, I don't post daily status updates, but I do write articles, and it is part of my actual content curation process that I have developed. I take my existing articles and information, and I use the article feature in LinkedIn. Rather than post a status update, I click write an article, and I give a teaser of the information and then include the link to the article on my website. That ideally helps drive a little bit more traffic to my website. It doesn't completely, if I had duplicate content on both, it would kind of harm the SEO on my website, so I don't want to do that. But I start the article, and then for reading more, they click over to my website. I didn't even realize I have 944 people following my articles on LinkedIn. I haven't made that many connections yet. So it was interesting to see that I have more people following my articles than I've connected with. So that can be a great way to establish your brand as a thought leader in your space and to get a wider reach of an audience than you currently do. One of the great ways, as we mentioned, to use LinkedIn is to start by making connections. How do you find who to connect with? When you use this search box at the top of LinkedIn, if you click in search without typing anything, just click up there, you'll see the option of people. Click on people, and then there is an all filters up in the menu bar, the second menu. I keep hitting my microphone, I am so sorry. Up in the second menu, you can click on all filters, and then you can choose people based upon their industry, their company, their geographic location, their language. If you have a niche and you focus on a specific target language, you can really drill down and search for people and find people that would be a great connection. When you do that, you want to connect with those people, send them a connection message, customize that message every time, I always recommend. And then you can find those people in your target audience that you want to connect with. That's a great way to start building those connections and building reciprocal relationships. There's a great little formula you can use. Connect with them on LinkedIn. 2 weeks later, send them a thank you for connecting. 4 weeks after the initial connection, send them an article that you think they might be interested in. 6 weeks later, ask them for a phone call or a meeting. And then 8 weeks later, continue to thank them again and share some other piece of information that you think they would benefit from. So connect, and then 2, 4, 6, and 8 weeks out, be connecting with them and be offering things first before you request anything. You can also use LinkedIn to invite your existing connections, messaging people, to your email marketing list. And I always recommend people get their prospects and customers off of social media or any third-party platform and get them into your own website and your own email list. You can message up to 50 people at one time on LinkedIn. If you do it this way, where it's kind of a mass invite, you want to craft a very good letter. And apologize for the lack of it being personalized, but make it something, touch upon the what's in it for them, tell them exactly what they're going to get if they opt into your email list, and it needs to be something that you've carefully thought through, a freemium that interests them. And then include a direct link to your sign-up form. Don't make them jump through a lot of hoops and go here and then they have to click 3 or 4 times. Make it a direct link where they sign up and then they get whatever they were given. And also offer to look at something of theirs. Again, that's reciprocal relationship building. You're asking them for something in exchange for giving them something and offering your eyeballs on their stuff as well. Again, you can message up to 50 people at a time. Make sure that if you do it this way, it's not coming across spammy. You want it to feel authentic. I still recommend on taking 30 minutes a day and personally messaging some people. I also recommend, if you're going to strategically target people on LinkedIn by doing these type of activities, that you drop them into your CRM system or something similar, so that you can note the date that you added them and have a workflow of reminders to you of when to follow up, how, and what to follow up with, such as, is it that thank you for connecting? Is it that here's an article I thought you'd be interested in, what it is, so that you'll have an automatic to-do list to remind you when to follow up, and that way you're not relying upon your memory. Another thing you want to do is find some groups on LinkedIn that have like-minded people like yourself, but also you want to find some groups that you fit into that have your target demographic. It's really easy to search for different groups. You may even go to an existing dream client that you have and see what groups they're connected to and find groups similar to that. Then once you're in the group, you want to make sure that you have conversations within the group, share your ideas, ask questions, offer insights, stay active in the group. Then as you kind of get to know, you can have targeted conversations with other members in that group. You can start again with just connecting. Hey, I saw that you posted about XYZ in the group. offer your take on it, start that conversation back and forth. You do want to stay active in any of the groups that you are strategically considering for marketing your business on LinkedIn. You can also consider starting your own group, but I only recommend this if you have the time to properly moderate and curate that group, just like you would any community on any social media platform, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever else. But you have that option of starting a group. So consider a group that would appeal to your target demographic, and then have your action plan ready so that you can be actively involved in the group and get other people to help you, so that there is real benefit from people joining your group. Next week, we're going to be discussing setting up an actual company page to brand your business and a few of the paid options on LinkedIn. I always recommend organic first, especially if you're a startup business or an entrepreneur and you don't have a huge marketing budget. Organic options are always your best friend, but there are some paid options on LinkedIn that can make sense depending upon your needs. So we will be visiting that next time. And again, if you would like a free audit of your LinkedIn profile and how you're using it for business, I will include a link to request a free social media profile audit down in the comments and discussion area. Or you can find it on our website, again, on the resources menu. In the drop down, you'll see the request for the social media audit. And when you do that request, be sure you share your LinkedIn profile so that that's the one that we review. And then we can give you some actionable items on suggestions you can do to improve your profile, to be using it for marketing yourself and your business. Any other questions or comments? Also, feel free to add those below, and we'll touch base with you and get back with them, or we'll answer it in one of our next sessions. Until next week, it's been great talking to you.